classroom is here for you. It helps you in all you do. It helps you know what you do. So tune in and now enjoy the fun. It's time for English, everyone. Studio Classroom is on the air. You can watch it everywhere. English is the way to go. So join us now, enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Studio Classroom. Thank you for joining us today, friends. My name is Anne-Marie.
And my name is Gabe, and of course today is a great day to learn something new.
So let's do that together. Gabe, I have a question for you about libraries.
Oh, libraries.
Yeah, do you think libraries are a fun place to be? Have you ever had fun in a library?
Libraries are just for going and reading books and like studying quietly. However, when I was in high school, the library was open from 7 to 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights, and we could go to library night. And I would go with some friends sometimes, just meet up with friends. Of course, we're supposed to be there studying, but we're often like quietly playing games.
Okay.
So sometimes I had fun in a library, but often when I think of libraries, I think of places where you have to be quiet and then people scold you if you're not quiet.
Well, not all libraries are like that, and we're going to talk about one of them today that has way more to offer than just books and studying. It is called Audi. We're going to learn all about it in today's article. Let's get started.
Oodi, a great library for a nation of book lovers and so much more. Where can you enjoy a coffee and a bite to eat, see a film, attend a conference, or read a book all in the same building? At Helsinki Central Library Oodi. But Oodi is about so much more than books.
Hello everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 我们首先来看 a bite to eat 这个片语，意思呢是随便吃点东西。譬如 After a long day at work, Benny stopped by his favorite cafe for a quick bite to eat. 工作了一整天之后 ，Benny 顺路去了他最爱的咖啡店，快速吃了点东西。或者是 Valerie was feeling hungry.So she grabbed a sandwich from the deli for a satisfying bite to eat on the go. Valerie 感到饿了，就去熟食店买了一份三明治，带着在路上充饥。再看一个例句 ：Because our lunch break was so short, I got a salad as a quick and healthy bite to eat. 因为午餐时间很短，我买了一份沙拉，作为我快速又健康的午餐。
Thank you so much, Jack. Let's start talking about Audi, friends, a great library for a nation of book lovers and so much more. Well, before we get into the text here, we could look at a few things right there in the deck. We see the word book lovers there, or someone who loves books.
That's right. You could use that word lover at the end of something else. Especially something that a lot of people love and everybody just knows. You're either a cat lover or a dog lover, right? Or maybe you're a coffee lover or a tea lover, and this shop is just for you. And here we're learning about a nation of book lovers. And what nation are we talking about? Well, we're going to find out in our lesson.
That's right. But before we do that, we have another phrase we're going to look at, and it actually appears twice in the next few sentences. That's the phrase and so much more. If you see the phrase so much more, you get the idea that there is more to list or more things to talk about than what you see written.
Yeah, you're going to see that phrase later in this section, but first we have a question. Where can you enjoy a coffee and a bite to eat, see a film, attend a conference, or read a book all in the same building? Now, if you were to ask me this question, Anne-Marie, I thought of another place besides the one in our lesson.
One where you can Eat,
Yeah.
see a film, attend a conference,
Yeah.
read a book in the
Yeah.
same building? Where
Yeah.
would that be?
I thought of Songshan Wenchuang in downtown Taipei. The
I haven't-
Songshan Creative, the Cultural and Creative Park.
I've never been there before.
Although technically it's not just a building, it's a park or a complex. It's more than one building.
Okay.
So maybe if you're going to do all of these different things just in one building, then you have to travel to Helsinki, Finland.
That's what it says here at Helsinki Central Library Oodi. That is the place you can do all these things at the same time. But Oodi is about so much more than books.
That's right. There you see that phrase. It's about more than something. It's about so much more than something. When you think of a library, you think of just a lot of books, right? But at this particular library or place, it's about so much more than that. You can use this sentence structure to maybe convince someone or tell somebody that it's about more than just what they think of. For example, you come here to Studio Classroom to learn English, but of course you know that because of the variety of topics that we have, Studio Classroom is about so much more than English.
That's right. Well, friends, we'll be right back after today's Info Cloud.
Welcome to InfoCloud, everybody. Hey, Rex, did you enjoy history class when you were young?
Yeah, history is fascinating, especially World War II history.
There are a lot of stories and phrases that come from that period of history that have become common sayings today.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. The first one that comes to mind is a bridge too far.
A bridge too far. That means trying to do something beyond your ability.
Yes. In simple terms, it describes something or someone who is too ambitious in what they're trying to do.
So how does the phrase a bridge too far connect back to World War II?
It was said by a British army leader when the Allied forces were fighting against Germany. Their plan involved sending soldiers ahead to capture several bridges.
So what happened? Were they successful?
The plan worked well at first, but ended up failing when help arrived too slowly.
Wow, that sounds like an exciting story. And that's why people use that phrase to describe something that they think will fail.
Yes, there are a book and movie, both called A Bridge Too Far, that show this story.
So to say something is a bridge too far means it may cost too much or be too difficult to complete.
Yes, maybe it is a plan that is likely to fail. For example, going to space is a bridge too far for everyone except the very wealthy.
当你想表达一件事情相当困难，几乎不太可能完成，你可以用今天分享的用语 a bridge too far 来形容。A bridge too far 字面上是距离太远的一座桥，用来形容一件事情的困难度。A bridge too far 是战争故事中经常使用的用语，因为打仗的军队经常需要占领或是摧毁具有战略价值的一座桥。A bridge too far 就代表这座桥距离太远，要取得控制权非常困难。Going to space is a bridge too far for ordinary people. 对于一般人来说，去到太空中是遥不可及的一件事情。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 下次云端见。
Oodi. Located in the heart of Helsinki, Oodi is a masterpiece of architecture that has become a symbol of the country's loyalty to education, learning, and innovation. Since its opening in December 2018, it has become a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. The name Oodi comes from the Finnish word ode, which means an ode or tribute. It is designed to be a welcoming and inclusive space that encourages learning and community engagement with spaces for both quiet and noisy activities.
“好的，接着我们来看 inclusive 这个形容词，它的意思是包容性的或是包括的。譬如 Our company is committed to creating an inclusive workplace so everyone feels valued and respected. 我们公司致力于创造一个具有包容性的工作环境，让大家都感到受重视和尊重。或者是 The school's inclusive policies ensure that students of all different abilities can participate in educational activities. 这所学校的包容性政策确保所有不同能力的学生都能参与教育活动。再看个例句 ：This city is very diverse and strives to promote an inclusive society so all feel welcome. 这座城市非常多元化，并努力成为一个包容性的社会，让所有人都备受欢迎。
Thank you, Jack. All right, well, let's learn more about Audi. Located in the heart of Helsinki, Audi is a masterpiece of architecture that has become a symbol of the country's loyalty to education, learning, and innovation. Well, the heart of Helsinki, that really just means downtown Helsinki or right in the center of the city.
In fact, this building is located right in front of the Parliament building, and the location was chosen to symbolize the relationship between the government and its population. So it's kind of a strategic place that this library is located in. We can use the phrase at the heart of something to talk about abstract things as well. For example, here at Studio Classroom, education is at the heart of everything we do.
That's a good example. Now there's something else we want to look at in the next sentence. We read, since its opening in December 2018, it has become a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. Now we've talked about this before, but let's review for a moment, friends. When something is opening, we're specifically talking about a place. And that's different than saying something has launched, isn't it?
That's right. We've talked about launches before. Maybe someone launches their business or a product. That means they're starting something with a product. But when we talk about the opening of something, we're talking about the place. So here we're talking about its opening. We wouldn't say, in other words, the launch of Audi. We would just talk about the opening of this place. And it has become a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. We've talked about that sentence structure before many times. It's a useful one that means that tourists and locals can both enjoy this place.
And of course, if something is a popular destination, it means it's a place that people are actually traveling to visit. They're going there on purpose. For example, the Caribbean is a popular cruise destination. People aren't just happening upon that destination because maybe they walked through or they went there by accident. They are going there for a specific purpose. So Audi, we are reading here, is a destination. People are actually going there specifically to see it.
Now, what does Audi mean? Well, it comes from the Finnish word ode or oda, which means an ode or a tribute. What is the difference between an ode and a tribute? Well, an ode is a lyrical poem that expresses praise, and it's especially directed towards somebody, whereas a tribute could be about somebody, but it means the same thing. There's a wonderful song by Stevie Wonder called Sir Duke, and that is an ode to amazing musicians like Duke Ellington.
All right, well, we find out Audi is designed to be a welcoming and inclusive space. It encourages learning and community engagement with spaces for both quiet and noisy activities. I'm curious about that sentence. We'll find out more right after this.
Oh, hello, fact friends. I'm Detective Ernest Finder, and I have a very fun fact for you today. Did you know that the word library comes from a Latin word that means book? It's true, a lot of the words we have in English come from Latin, and liber in Latin means book. Also, libreria means bookshop in Latin. But no, at the Oodi Library, you don't buy the books, you just borrow them. You have to give them back. Oh, I need to give this book back to the library. I almost forgot. Thank you, friends. That's today's fun fact.
Oodi. With its glass and steel structures and wooden facade, the design, which combines both traditional and modern styles, was selected through a competition. The library is a beautiful example of modern Scandinavian design using sustainable materials. The library has several unique features that make it stand out from other libraries around the world. One of the most notable features is the glass-walled rooms that give visitors a panoramic view of the city.
接下来看 stand out 这个片语动词，意思是显眼或是脱颖而出。譬如 Betty's red dress made her stand out in the crowd and got her a lot of attention. Betty 的红裙子让她在人群中脱颖而出，得到很多人的关注。或者是 Dick's leadership skills and abilities make him stand out among his coworkers. Dick 的领导技能和能力使他在同事中脱颖而出。再举个例句 That modern building on the corner really stands out as it is surrounded by buildings built in the 18th century. 转角处那栋现代建筑真的非常显眼，因为它被一些建于18世纪的建筑所包围。最后来看Notable 这个形容词，意思是显著的或值得注意的。譬如 Our CEO's achievements and vision for the future have made her a notable figure in the business world. 我们的执行长的成就和对未来的愿景，使他在商业界成为一位著名人物。或者是 The team's notable efforts led to a significant increase in sales for the company. 这个团队显著的努力使该公司的销售大幅度的成长。Notable 的副词是 notably， 例如 The popularity of the restaurant increased notably when they hired a new chef. 当这家餐厅聘请了一位新的厨师时，他们的知名度明显提高了。
Thank you, Jack. Those vocabulary words really stood out. Let's finish up today's lesson, friends. With its glass and steel structures and wooden facade, the design, which combines both traditional and modern styles, was selected through a competition. Okay, we see that word facade there. We have to talk about it. Now, here in our lesson, facade means the front of a building that faces the street. So we're talking about literally, structurally, the word facade here in our article. But it doesn't always mean that, does it, Gabe?
Right. Often we use this word facade to talk about maybe someone wanting to appear a certain way to other people, but that's very different from the way that person actually is. So we could talk about someone's facade. That's not a good thing because you want to be real.
For example, the salesman facade nearly tricked the elderly couple. You get the idea from this example that the salesman was trying to trick the elderly couple into buying something that maybe wasn't a good idea for them to buy.
That's right. But back to buildings, it could refer to the outer appearance of one building, or if you're standing at a distance and you see a lot of buildings next to each other, sometimes we call that a facade as well, especially if it is a very beautiful thing to look at. There are several famous facades around the world. Maybe you're on the river looking at these buildings and it's a beautiful facade. Well, we read on here, the library is a beautiful example of modern Scandinavian design using sustainable materials. Now, what are the countries in Scandinavia? Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and IKEA.
IKEA? IKEA's not a country?
No, but it's so big, right? It seems like a country sometimes. The other day I bought an Ektorp and a Björkska from IKEA.
Oh, I'm sure I would recognize those pieces of furniture if I saw them, but I do not know their Swedish names.
They've got some interesting names there in that store. But no, seriously though, Scandinavia, that is Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. And here we're talking about using sustainable materials. Sustainable could refer to how well something is built, but usually we're talking about the environment and how good something is for the environment, and if using something is good for future generations as well. Can we continue this practice forever? Well, then it's a sustainable practice.
That's right. Well, the library has several unique features that make it stand out from other libraries around the world. Let's talk about one of them here. One of the most notable features is the glass-walled rooms that give visitors a panoramic view of the city. That means they can see all of the city all at once. All right, friends, we'll be back right after this.
Hello friends, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Anne-Marie. We're glad you're here because we're about to tell you a way you can improve your small talk in English.
The tip we're taking a look at today is be willing to share.
When engaging in small talk, it's important to listen to what the other person is saying and respond appropriately. But Gabe, have you ever been in a conversation and it feels like an interrogation?
Ooh, that's very intense. I have. I think this happens a lot with English learners. Maybe you've done this. You memorize a list of questions, and then when you see a foreigner, you ask them all the questions you can remember, one after the other.
Sound familiar? The problem with this is that it often makes people feel uncomfortable and that you aren't willing to be open with them.
That's right. You have to be willing to share about yourself too. Conversations are give and take.
And being willing to share about your own life will make the conversation flow much better. So what does this look like?
Well, let's say you're talking to someone and you ask how their vacation went. They tell you that they went to Europe and they especially enjoyed Rome. After hearing through to the end of what they want to tell you, it's your turn to share.
If you've been to Europe, say that and explain what your favorite part was. Don't just say, oh, I see. If you haven't been to Europe, tell them about the last time you took a vacation and what it was like.
This rule of being willing to share doesn't just apply to small talk. This is also good general advice for making friends with people from other cultures. In order to make a friend, you need to make yourself open.
We hope this tip improves your small talk in English and your friendships as well.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Well, Gabe, we're at the end of our article and we still didn't talk about what kind of noisy activities you can do in this library.
What kind of noisy activities can you do in any library?
Well, I think we're going to have to come back tomorrow to find out. Friends, make sure you come back and join us. We'll be here with the second half of our lesson right here on Studio Classroom.
Trust at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. A friend gives at all times. A friend cares at all times. A friend endures at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.